Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by Genesis House and the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction and recovery. Join your hosts,
the Podfather, Jersey Ed,
as they break the silence and speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. I am the Podfather, Mike Miles.
And I'm Jersey Ed, guys.
He's back.
He's back. You need to put a he's back in there somewhere.
I'll put like some horror music.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, do that.
Just zoom in on your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweets, what is that? Party horns you use?
Yeah, comedy horns.
Comedy horns.
Exactly,
Oh, I love those. I love those.
Exactly.
And we can't forget Sweets, the producer extraordinaire, because he's the man behind the show.
He's the heartbeat of this show.
You ever watch what was the game show there, The Price is Right?
Yeah.
And he's always calling out to the guy up in the booth.
Johnny.
That's me.
That's Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny, tell him what I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
On today's showcase.
Sweet, tell us who our guests are today. Real quick, I want to tell you, we don't have any guests today, guys, but we're going to talk about virtual AA meetings, our virtual AA meetings at Genesis House. And we have a really good surprise, not surprise, but some good facts that we have about an old show here. Yeah, exactly. So, but we have to do that 5 minutes of useless banner before the show starts. So,
very useless.
So go ahead.
And you're good at that. You're very good at that.
No.
I think what's important is talking about virtual AA. I want to talk about AA and some of the meetings I've been doing, group meetings I've been doing, and you witnessed one the other night. Mm-hmm. Now there was at least 10 clients in the room. You and I made 12.
Yeah.
We were separated pretty much by
every 6 feet. It was set up well.
Right. And what I think is important to say is that there are a lot of businesses struggling now. And believe me, my heart's out to you. I don't know how you're going to stay afloat. Maybe after the election, things will get better. I don't know. They're talking about a cure or a vaccine. I mean, it's just insane. But I just want to say, if you're reasonably intelligent and you have some concerns about covert, and you should, but more importantly, I think we're all adults, and if you own a business and you know the business can be shut down in a heartbeat, why can't we do things properly? Mm-hmm. I think life or death for me. Recovery is life or death for lots of people. And, I feel so fortunate to be able to say that I work a good 20 hours a week in an office atmosphere, in group therapy, in one-on-one therapy, and I've helped a lot of people. And I got to be honest, since March or whenever this began, I haven't had one person with COVID. I've never met anybody that has had COVID, and I know they're out there, but I'm just saying, I use my head. I wear a mask. I have plenty of sanitation, liquid for my hands. I don't shake hands. I don't hug people. We do everything properly. It can be done. And by all means, I just hope society will finally just say, hey, enough's enough. Let government out of the way. We want to open our business.
But you know what, Podfather, something good came about that, the virtual meetings.
Certainly.
And I say it all the time on our virtual meetings. We do Friends in Recovery online meetings noon and 7 p.m. Eastern daily, every day, 7 days a week. And if you want any more information on it, go to our Facebook page, Friends in Recovery Podcast, and I'll be on there, or Friends in Recovery community.
Show notes.
Yeah, but show notes too. But I've met so many good people because of this COVID. Yes. I met on these Friends in Recovery from all over the United States. Right. People who are my really good friends now, and people who I can count on for my recovery on a daily basis almost.
We need it.
Yeah, and we did a virtual AA meeting back on December 10th, 2019. Season 2, episode 4. Check it out. We just had an idea. Let's just because we were zooming people in, and we were like, let's do a virtual AA meeting. And I was thinking to myself, this is never going to go anywhere. It's never going to do anything. You know what I mean? And we just checked the stats. As of today, we have 3,974 views on that. Is that crazy?
On one show.
That's insane.
One show.
Yeah. We have other shows that have 45 views. Yeah. So what does that tell you? And I think that the topic is AA.
Yeah.
Alcoholics Anonymous, recovery.
Yeah.
There was this morning before 8 o'clock, before I get on the road to come here, I had interaction with 3 near dear friends, people, clients, friends that reached out just to have someone to talk to. And then when I got here, I had 2 more text messages. People are in dire straits when they're trying to find recovery. They could be in a suicidal state. They could be in a homicidal state. But more importantly, you can't ignore them. You have to help them. To have a virtual AA meeting, which I've been to a few of your meetings, Ed, and I got to tell you, I think these are going to be going forward after this covert debacle is finally figured out. Going forward, I think it's going to be telehealth is going to be acceptable. I think virtual AA meetings is going to be good for so many people that just can't get to meetings. You know, because you've kind of like been a pioneer in this, Ed. You really have, and I'm not joking either. I'm dead serious. When we did when the 3 of us got involved with Carl and SoberPod, and I had a flat tire that day. We did it for my car, and I mean, I know I was talking about Bush League, but Jesus, what a day
Check
that was.
Check that episode out, the SoberPod episode. It's pretty funny. Podfather disappears after like half the show because he has a flat fucking tire. So,
but the bottom line is, you know, now I go on that meeting, and when I learn how to get on, which isn't hard, but I'm kind of a moron when it comes to any type of electronics. But it's a different atmosphere. It's even a stronger bond. I feel. Do you feel what I'm saying?
100%.
Do you know what
Absolutely,
I'm saying?
yeah.
It is definitely.
Why is it stronger?
Well, I think because we're able to access people at those times. We don't have to drive anywhere. It's not inconveniencing us. You know, like say a single mom that has to hire a babysitter to get to her meeting once a week. A single dad has to hire a babysitter or drop him off.
So that stress is gone.
Yeah. So an hour meeting can probably take taken somebody 3 hours by the time they drop their kids off or whatever and get to the meeting. Then you stay after the meeting, and that's a little bit more. And so it's
good point.
It's a process getting to a meeting. And I'm not saying don't go to in-person meetings, but these virtual meetings, you get to connect with people. I look forward. I go on to meetings almost 2 times a day. I really do.
You do. I know.
And I look forward to those people. And every day is different people. Every hour, different, 7 or
I'll be clocking in tonight to your meeting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be. You have to show me before I leave.
Yeah, I will.
But one of the other things that if you think about, like, why is it so much more? Why do you get so much more out of it, right? If you think about going to a meeting, right? Like I've been to plenty of in-person meetings myself, and it depends on how I show up to the meeting on what I'm going to get from it, right? Like I can shake a bunch of hands, I can say hi when I first get there, I can try to sit up front, I can pay attention to the speaker, or I can drift off and sit in the back, right? And same could be said for the video meetings. But
of course,
if you show up with that same intention, like you want to be part of the meeting, there's really no place to hide. Like you're looking at everybody. Everybody's looking at each other, and I know this from trainings that I've done virtually during the quarantine as well, is that it's so much more intimate. You're looking right at that person. They're looking right at you versus the meeting. Like you see a bunch of the back of people's heads. Like you don't see everybody's reaction.
Good point.
We're all in it together. We're all watching the same thing. You see everyone's faces. So I think to a certain extent, there's a lot of things that add to it. But just like any other meeting, you can hide too. You can just turn your screen off. You can, scroll on your phone. You can mute yourself. So I mean, there's plenty of places to hide. But if you participate, I think you get a ton out of it.
Yeah. But I like what you said, Sweets, is that you're seeing the people's faces. So even if you have your video off and you don't talk, if you show up every day or every other, whatever you're showing up, you're seeing all these people with their happy, smiling faces. You're hearing them talking. You're physically looking at each one of them. I mean, the screen is right in front of you, looking at each individual person.
Very intimate.
Yeah, it's very intimate. Where an AA meeting, if you're in a circle, you can see everybody, but you're not that close. I mean, the screen's like right here.
I don't remember the last AA meeting I went to where it was a circle. It's usually like a lecture format.
Lecture form, circle, depending on what it is.
It's like a round robin meeting, maybe. What I mean? A smaller meeting.
Yeah, my group meeting is a round
circle.
Robin. But we have to, because we're in a room and we got to separate everything.
But like you guys said, you're sitting and looking at the back of somebody's head. That's not that intimate. That's not that or you're sitting next to somebody and you're not going to stare at them like this. You know what I mean? You're just going to look ahead at the speaker.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those bigger meetings. Like you join a video meeting with 150 150 participants.
Right.
Yeah,
You can see everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go into a room with 150 people, and you're just
Right.
in the audience.
Right.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
such
You're
a
a
good
member of
point.
the audience. Like, you're not actually. It
Right.
doesn't feel like you're part of the group.
It doesn't. No, on the virtual meetings, you definitely feel like you're part of the group, 100%, and everybody says that.
My home group for 34 years has been the Neshoba group. Shout out to them in Chelmsford. And they've moved once since I used to go. But they've been at the same place now where they're at probably 25 years, 26 years. But it's always a large meeting. There's at least 50 people every Sunday night, 7 o'clock in Chelmsford Center. But what you're saying is so true, because I usually sit in the back because, not that I'm some hot shot or anything, but I just want to be left alone. I want to listen to the speakers. I know a lot of people because of my job, number one, because I've been in AA for so long. I don't want to be glad-handed. After the meeting, fine, or even before, but I usually get there right when it begins, so I sit in the back. And what you said is right. I'm looking at the back of people's heads. But I always focus on the speakers, and they always have groups from different, cities, towns, whatever, and that come in, and it's a 1 hour meeting, which is perfect for me, But I think the virtual, I've only been on a few virtual AA meetings, but I have gotten a lot out of them, and I'm going to start looking at them more.
Yeah. A quick funny story. If you go back a couple episodes, Andy V, check out my sponsor. He was on, and I contacted him to come on to one of the meetings. I don't know how to get on this. I don't know this shit. I cannot get Andy off the fucking meetings now. I really can't. He's on every day. I'm like, and he's like bitching at me. Here's the cool part of the virtual meeting. Andy's been my sponsor probably a minimum of 18 years that I can remember. I moved out of the area about 10 years into my recovery. I kept him as my sponsor. We spoke by phone. We had a cigar together. He'd come to my house. We'd ride motorcycles together. I haven't gone to an AA meeting with him. I haven't got that experience and listened to him, all those years, 10, 15, 18 years. I haven't gone to a meeting with him. But now he's on the meetings every day. I hear what he shares. I'm learning so much more because I'm right in the room with my sponsor now. And even if you think about it, even sometimes people have sponsored maybe from other meetings or whatever, you might not even go as many meetings as they are. But now if you know your sponsors in the AA 101 room or Friends in Recovery, virtual meetings room, you're going to go show up because your sponsor's there. You know what I mean? And I think that's also another good thing.
Right, and I just want to mention this. Ed came to my group recently, and he spoke, which was really good. But I don't know if you remember the young guy, good-looking kid, big kid. He talked about getting a sponsor, and he's new. He's like 38 days sober, and like, he's nervous about getting a sponsor. And he basically said, I don't even know how to find a sponsor. I'm nervous about finding a sponsor or anxious. And Ed gave him good advice, and he said, you can find a sponsor on your virtual, AA meeting, because just listen to someone who's got time, and ask them to be a temporary sponsor, And to me, my sponsor was a guy that I communicated the first 5 years of my sobriety every day, every night, sometimes 3 times a day. I never hid out. I never tried to get away from him. He answered all my questions. And when I was going through my anxiety and panic, I mean, he was merciless. I'd say, Jimmy, I'm having a panic attack. I don't know. A panic attack? Jesus. Hey, let's skip the meeting. Let's go down to McDonough's funeral home. We'll get you a fucking box, and this is it. We're going to put Michael away. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. And
It's
that...
a dose of reality.
Yeah, those friendly insults, I like to call them, kept me going, well, fuck you. I'm going to meet you. I'll meet you at the meeting.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I don't even see him. It might be twice a year, but he's still my sponsor.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had a question, I would call him. But when I do see him, it's Old Home Week. It brings tears to my eyes to realize that this guy who's in his 70s now, still helping people, and he really got me to where I'm at. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I just want to say real quick that I think sponsors are underrated. And if you don't have a good sponsor, find one. If you have a sponsor and you're not communicating with your sponsor, either communicate with them or find a new one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hey, real quick, we're going to take a break here, and we'll talk a little bit more about virtual meetings and our virtual meeting that has all these views. We have a challenge for everybody out there that we want you to stay tuned for.
FriendsInRecoveryPodcast.com. We'll be back.
Since 1992, Genesis House has been helping real people heal from addiction on their private recovery campus in beautiful Palm Beach County, Florida. Their family-owned program is accredited by the Joint Commission and offers detox and dual diagnosis treatment in a comfortable and confidential setting. At Genesis House, they focus on treating the underlying causes of addiction. Their comprehensive approach includes psychiatric care, individual and small group therapy, trauma healing techniques, and holistic care including yoga, massage, and animal-assisted therapy. After treatment, their clients enjoy the lifelong support of a nationwide network of Genesis House alumni. Call Genesis House today at 1-800-737-0933 to speak with someone who understands. Visit them on the web at www.genesishouse.net. It's time to start your journey to a long and successful recovery.
Hey, Friends in Recovery Podcast.com. Welcome back.
Hey, real quick, I forgot to give out our phone number and our email address. Jersey Ed.
Hey, Podfather.
Hey, Jersey Ed.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Hey, we're back. Hey. KS begins. Thanks for the red carpet.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the police escort was very nice. And you didn't have to do that,
set that up.
Thank you.
We set that up.
Yeah. None of that happened, guys.
Yeah.
They can give a shit about me, all right, here. Real quick, I want to, if you want to contact us, get us on our email, help@friendsandrecoverypodcast.com. And you can give us a call at 617-379-1163. All that'll be in the show notes. Be scrolling across the screen. You can get a hold of us anyway. Just a quick friendly reminder, too. We're talking about virtual meetings here. And we do have a virtual meeting that we do twice a day at Genesis, not at Genesis House, but Genesis House supports it and sponsors it. Friends in Recovery Online meetings, 12 noon and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's daily. Check out our Facebook page for all that information. Guys, we are now doing step meetings, step studies, we like to call them.
Yeah.
We're doing celebration meetings. We have people doing different meetings. It's not just get on and let's ramble about stuff. They're very structured meetings now, and you can pick and choose kind of what meetings you want to go to, which is really cool.
I like that.
2 a day. So
Variety.
Yeah, variety, absolutely.
Variety. Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah. So, guys, our virtual AA meeting that we did, unknowingly that any of this would happen back in December.
Prophetically.
But yeah, exactly.
That's right.
It's season 2, episode number 4. Look for it. It's called Virtual AA Meetings. We did it on December 10th, 2019. As of today, we have 3,900 views. And we were talking before the show. We want to break 5,000 views for that show. We need your help to do that. There's nothing in it. You know, we want to get the word out. Please spread the word of this meeting. Spread the word of this podcast. I mean, get this meeting out and let's break the 5,000 views. That's a good challenge, isn't
5,000 views?
Yeah,
5,000 views, guys.
And I think the actual number was 3,975. So it was almost 4,000 before we started the show.
Yeah.
If we can get another 1,025, I think we'll hit our goal.
Yeah, and we be influencers.
Can we give something away if we do that?
What are we going to give away?
I don't know.
To every
How about a
listener out
cigar
there?
stub from the Podfather?
Yeah,
I mean, that's got to be
exactly.
worth something, right?
We'll give an attaboy to everybody
Back
once we
to back.
hit it.
A nub?
A
Give
nub.
him a
Yeah,
nub,
a
nub.
A well-used, well-loved nub.
That's right.
Nub, yes.
That
My
thing's been loved
saliva
all
all over
morning.
it.
To the 5,000 view, we'll give the nub, the Podfather's nub. It's going to be worth something one day, guys.
Oh,
You mark
please.
our
It's
words.
already worth something now. It was an $8 cigar. It's worth $4.
Great.
We're not giving anything away, all right, guys?
This was the double Corona when I started. Now it's just
Exactly.
a Corona.
That's right.
But that meeting is that meeting kind of we really didn't even know that anything was going on.
shocking when you look at our stats and you see that it just jumps out.
Yeah, 26, 27,
Right,
122,
45, right.
3,900, back to 25,
I know,
140.
It's amazing. But my guess on that would be is that people, when this pandemic hit, people were probably Googling what's a virtual meeting, that would be my guess.
And luckily,
I don't know.
we had one for them to listen to.
know.
And we've been
thank
very
God.
fortunate that we've had people that are successful people that are in large organizations that have sought out recovery for themselves, their loved ones, co-workers, and all of a sudden, they're contacting us. They want to be part of this. And, that speaks a lot because over 2 years ago, when we started doing Friends in Recovery at Studio 21, we were just doing that to help people, like we still are. We had no expectations of what direction we were going. You knew Mike, you knew Sweets.
Sweets was a guest on the show,
right?
Before all this, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Sweets has a studio, and we transition over here, which was a great move. Not that I don't love Dave and those guys; they're wonderful, but this is just more convenient.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a bigger bang for our buck. Definitely, this show has been catapulted beyond belief.
Well, Sweets adds, and Ed was a great producer.
Oh,
we loved him.
super.
We loved him. But Sweets you add more recovery to the show.
Well,
I mean, you have great
in
recovery
myself.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
So that helps too. And again, and also Studio 21 made us go on to these videos and everything. They just didn't put us on Podbean, so we do have to thank them for that. But this is how it evolved. But you know what? We're still helping people. We're helping ourselves if you think about it.
Yeah.
And along the lines, if somebody picks us up out of those 5,000 views, hopefully they'll help themselves too.
50,000 views.
50,000. Let's do 50,000.
Yeah, let's up the challenge.
It's 50,000. God. But the other thing I want to talk about on the virtual meetings, which is really cool. Some people don't like to break their anonymity. Some people don't want to go to meetings because they're afraid they might see somebody there. First responders, Podfather, they maybe don't want to show their faces right away. So I think it's a good tool. Also, you can turn your sound off and you can turn your face off until you're comfortable in those rooms. Because I remember early recovery in the virtual meetings, but early recovery when I was nervous about going into a meeting. I was nervous that what if my neighbor's there? Or what if this one's there? Or, whatever that crazy thinking is that you haven't. So this gives us a little buffer, a little comfort zone. And then, like I was saying earlier, you can turn your camera on, you can get comfortable and slowly work your way into it. Because there are some people that are afraid of this, afraid of seeing, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I mean, what's your thoughts on that, guys?
I just want to mention, you brought back some memories. My first AA meeting, my fear was I'm going to run into someone who I arrested and and they're going to club me to death or whatever, jump me after the meeting. And lo and behold, my second meeting, there's 3 gentlemen there, all 3 of them Lowell legends, I'd like to call them, all in recovery. And one of the guys I had arrested, he had beat a guy with a axe handle, and I'd gone to school with him, but I had to arrest him. Another guy was known for boxing, Bobby Bridges, I'll mention his name. He's no longer with us, but just a rough, tough kid, and he'd been arrested probably 3 times, not by me, but by other cops. But I guess it was just the opposite. They welcomed me. I went skiing with Tommy, the one with the axe handle. Bobby would hug me and cry every time he saw me. I'm so glad to see cops need this, Mike. They need it. So-and-so, he needs this program, He was so drunk, I took his gun and brought it home because I was afraid he was going to hurt somebody. And I started understanding that the people in the halls of AA really were genuinely caring about me and my recovery.
So, Podfather, what you're saying is that there's no chance of getting your ass kicked on a virtual meeting, basically, you're saying.
Exactly. And I can say what I want. And, I'll whatever. There's nothing you can do to me.
Yeah, but we have the power to boot you out. We can boot you out. I love that feature. Remember when all the Zoom bombers were coming in? Yeah. I booted a bunch of people out, coming on crazy.
Yeah, no, is that something that's still going on?
No. Have you seen any of that?
They changed the features now.
Yeah. It's a lot more secure and, a lot of privacy now. And it's come a long way.
The bottom line is nothing will compare to the in-person fellowship and the hugs and the handshakes and the showing up to set up the coffee and the chairs and staying late and hanging out outside and the travel there and setting aside the time.
Having a meeting in the car on the way there.
Having the meeting in the car, the after meeting, you know what I mean?
The diners and
nothing will compare to that. So, I mean, it's not, when we're comparing one to the other, it's that we're looking for we're looking for the benefits of it to try to find the silver lining in the fact that we can't do those things anymore. But, at the end of the day, our hopes are always that this will subside and that on the other side of this we can get back to that. But it is a good... It's probably introduced more people to it that wouldn't have been introduced otherwise, and maybe they'll be ready to go to real meetings when the time comes. But I would hate to see this rereplace it.
Yeah, sure, me too. But it is definitely a good option. And if
Here's
you're
another
new,
option,
if you're new and you're out there now and you're you're sick, you're suffering, you're hurting. What's the number, Red?
The number is 617-379-1163. Reach out to us.
Right. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and also I want to mention, if you go back a couple episodes back to Studio 21, Loving Lions is Sweet's podcast, right? Was that the Loving Lions?
That's my book.
Yeah, that's your book, and I think we
That is the podcast.
Yes,
correct.
That's the name of the podcast.
Right.
So if you're looking for Sweet and you want to see what he looks like, this is your opportunity to go,
right.
and check it out.
He's not the lion. Let me
He's
just
not
say
the
that.
lion.
Right.
That's right.
He's a kitty cat. So,
Right.
but and also it's a really good book. You want if you could get it on Amazon, right? And
Amazon,
whatever,
Barnes and Noble.
Yep. And but it's a good book, and that's where you can get Sweets'. It's
a really good book.
Sweets' podcast as far as that goes.
My daughter that was on the show, Michelle, she took Miss Kavanaugh. I forget her first name. Kavanaugh. She wrote a
Maureen.
Yeah. She took Maureen's book and she put it on a. How can I explain this? She sent it to me where it's being read. So it's amazing because I read the book, I loved it, but now I'm listening to it being read.
Yeah,
that's cool
by Maureen, and it's just amazing.
Yeah,
it
that's
really
another
is.
good book. That's your other podcast, Collateral
Damage. Yeah,
right.
And you do that virtually. It's obviously you and her aren't in the same room.
Yeah, we record it by Zoom, and
Yeah.
then we do some post production and put it up on the screen.
So it's amazing all this stuff that's coming out, or that we've taken as far as virtual meetings go from your podcast, from our podcast, and integrated into a meeting setting. You know, I think it's really, really cool how this is.
Well, I like how we just fell into that. I think when we were recording that virtual AA meeting, it was just like, what do you guys want to do? You want to hold a meeting?
Yeah.
Let's talk about what it's like to go to a meeting. And I think it was just instructional, right? It was like, this is what you can expect.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to see. This is what it's going to feel like.
But we did a format meeting, though.
We did the format.
We did the format. We started with the Lord's Prayer. We ended up with the Serenity Prayer.
I thought it was great.
It was so cool. It was
one of my favorite episodes.
It is.
Actually. I think when we were done, I was like, wow, that was actually really nice.
No, I think we all needed a meeting that day anyway, so I think that was a selfish thing, I guess.
There was a little higher power involved in that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
A few weeks ago, I was up in Maine, and I had some downtime, and so I just kind of scrolled through some of our shows, podcasts, and I listened to a few. I listened to the one that we had Kyle and the gang on from podcast. What's it called again?
SoberPod.
SoberPod.
Look at my tattoo.
Yeah, see the tattoo on his back?
On my back. Yeah, you'll remember it.
He's got a big logo on his car.
Big heart next to Carl's name.
But I was listening and some of the introductions, and it made me realize how intricate and important it is to have someone like Sweets who reads everything, who does such a professional job that it's not just. I speak fast. My voice is distinct. People know my voice, but I speak really fast. People can't even understand me sometimes. I can't understand myself. But it's good to have a professional voice. It's somebody to explain what's going on, and it's very calming. And I can see you doing virtual books, or buying a book that's being read to you by somebody with your ability to the way you speak, even Maureen. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's
speaking of SoberPod, guys, I forgot to mention them.
Who's SoberPod?
SoberPod is turn the dial to the right a little bit, not to the left. We go right here in the studio, all right? And
yes, we do.
And you want to get SoberPod. They're great podcasts. They support our show. They support our AA meeting, so I always want to give them a shout out because every show they are supporting Friends in Recovery, and we really did get a good connection with them. We and it was all through virtual. Right. That's how we met. We met through this virtual stuff. And
they cover the West Coast. And we
they cover the
East
West.
Coast.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna lock this in. SoberPod, Friends in Recovery.
You can't escape.
You can't.
We got to get somebody in the Midwest.
Yeah, we need like a border podcast.
Yeah. We'll find it.
How's that boy Chris Cuddery Cudahy doing?
Chris said hello. I was on my way in here, and I said, I'm finally going into the studio, and he said, tell everybody I said hello.
Yeah.
And he's sweet. He wants his vest back. So
sure, yeah. I keep it. I wear it like pants.
Well, he said, please have Sweets rub himself all over him before you return it.
I wear the vest like pants.
I've actually caught Sweets wearing it like a diaper.
Yeah, I said pants, but you know.
So
what I mean.
Chris, you'll have your vest back tomorrow. A little stinky and sweaty, but it'll be back.
I'll hose it down. What is it? Leather, right?
Hose it down. Exactly. So guys, what a great episode.
Yeah.
Our challenge for everybody is you want to go to our virtual AA meeting, season 2, episode 4 on December 10th, 2019. We want to try to get 5,000 views to start.
Correct.
50,000 we want to get somewhere down the road. But
if you guys help us out, we'll put the gold YouTube thing right on the wall up there. Get 1 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
So if you watch it, subscribe.
We'll put it right back here. We'll
subscribe.
Put it up.
Put the plaque up on the wall.
That's right.
Yeah. And whoever the 1,000th subscriber is, we'll send you a picture of it.
We'll send you a picture. We'll invite you to the studio.
Yeah.
On your dime, you get here. You make your way up
We'll
here.
let you
can
pay
buy
your way
us
up.
lunch. You can
buy us lunch.
Mike's.
You can do all that. Yeah.
You can buy us lunch for
And
Mike's.
cigars they can buy us, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Buy
come
us
on
each a
in.
cigar.
They can rent some studio time.
That's exactly
We're going to
it.
make your day.
That's right. That's it. Well, guys, another good show, another good challenge. This is a good challenge, guys. Let's do this challenge. 5,000 views. Let's do it. We really, really want to push you guys to. Oh shit!
Right.
Just smack
and
my
I'm
arm.
glad you mentioned.
Can I sue this studio? I have my elbow. I hurt.
I think you signed something that says no.
I did. I probably did.
Lighter, please.
Oh, lighter. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I'm glad you mentioned Miss Megan because she does a great job, and I miss her as well. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She definitely a extremely intelligent,
smart woman,
intuitive, very with what's going on nowadays with recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You know, recovery's changing. It really is, and I've been doing this for 20 years. Sweet's been doing it for a while. You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
We can see it changing. And it's great having someone like Miss Megan. And Megan also puts the yo in yoga pants.
Yes.
So, I just want to mention that.
Good Lord.
Yes.
And she has a podcast, by the way.
She has a podcast.
The Dictionary Podcast, in case you're wondering. That's also on the dial.
Yep, that's on this dial too. Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, well, great show as always, and I'm proud to be part of this studio. Sweets, thank you for giving us this opportunity and really excelling our shows and getting us out those 5,000, the 5,000 or 3,975.
Let's just call it 5. Let's just round up.
5,000.
We got 5,000 views.
Yeah, we got 5,000 views. Make it happen, guys. Make those 5,000 views happen. So.
And Ed, we want to thank you for making the effort to come up here.
That's right.
It's about friggin' time.
I had to talk to my sponsor. He said, throw him a bone.
Yeah.
God. All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot, everybody.
Yep.
And,
Friends and Recovery Podcast.com.
Yep. And stay sober, everybody.
Great show, boy.
That concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Thanks to Genesis House for supporting those on the path to recovery and for keeping this valuable resource free for our Friends in Recovery community. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the show, email us at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. If you can't get enough of Mike the Podfather and Jersey Ed, you can catch them on Answering the Call, the First Responder Podcast, available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube.